Finally, after almost 2 years of waiting, Cobra Kai Season 3 was released on Netflix. And of course, I binged it in one sitting. Now that Cobra Kai is on Netflix, the overall feel of the show is still the same. So that's great. Some cast members did not return. Aisha was written out of Season 3. Her character moved away. I don't like big characters suddenly disappearing, but she was not needed in this season and I have no desire for her to return. Another character that did not return is Stingray. I'm a huge fan of Stingray. Every scene he was in was hilarious. His absence just makes him more legendary. It's probably best he didn't return because he would distract from what's really important. I thought it was really funny how they wrote him out. He was arrested after the school fight and given a restraining order. He can't be near any minors. So, no security job, no more Cobra Kai. I really thought he aced that interview. In the end, he may just be a gag character, but I'd love to see him return. Returning to the show is Daniel's cousin Louie. He always has something funny to say. So the show starts with Miguel fighting in the All Valley. At this point, it isn't clear if this is a fight in the future or a dream. I was convinced it was a flash forward and that we'd get flash forwards of the tournament all throughout the season. Then it would end with a Robbie versus Miguel rematch. That didn't happen. In the flash forward or dream, Miguel gets a tough victory. I really like how it was shot. And at the end of the episode, Miguel awakes. Robbie is on the run. He stole a car from LaRusso Auto. Daniel and Johnny team up to find him. Meanwhile, there is tension at school between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. Daniel and Johnny go on a mission to find Robbie. Their friendship is really developing, but as usual, Johnny does something Daniel doesn't like and they separate. Johnny goes to the hospital. Miguel is awake and freaks out. He blames Johnny for what happened to him. He told Johnny to get out of his life. At this point, you think Miguel could go down the crease path, but his rage didn't last long. He easily lets Johnny back into his life. Daniel then finds Robbie. Daniel apologizes for the way he acted the last time he saw Robbie. This is twice Daniel acted way out of line with Robbie. As much good as he put into his life, twice he's completely freaked out on this kid. Daniel's plan was to have Robbie turn himself in because it would be a less severe sentence. But he doesn't do that and tips the police off when Robbie is visiting his mom. This pisses Robbie off and as usual plays the victim and wrongfully blames everyone else. Kreese finds Tori and convinces her to come back to Cobra Kai. We also get a flashback of Kreese back when he was a teenager. This arc progresses throughout the season. We see how he entered the army, how Cobra Kai was born, and how he saved Terry Silver's life. It really makes sense now in Karate Kid 3 why Terry Silver was so devoted to Kreese. It made sense then, but it just adds another layer to it. It's something a lot of these sequel shows lack, good writing and self-awareness. Robbie is in jail and he's getting roughed up by some bullies. He's having a terrible time and really just building up anger. At the dealership, business at LaRusso Auto is not going well. Daniel is linked to karate and the terrible school fight, so sales have drastically declined. They are so bad his competitor Tom Cole comes in to make an offer and buy LaRusso Auto. Tom Cole is another small character that brings a lot of joy to this show. Samantha, who's been doing next to nothing to get in touch with Robbie, visits Miguel in the hospital. Samantha is responsible for this all. She should have never broke up with Miguel. Now Miguel was a total beta male and out of line in season 1. But he did have some legit suspicions and he was drunk. Samantha never gave him a chance to explain. It's one thing if she just lost her attraction for him. The thing is she didn't. She was just being a stupid asshole. She still liked Miguel but let this problem fester. Then she met Robbie who she liked, but she never stopped wanting the Miguel D. So she shows up at the hospital and it's obvious that she wants the Miguel D, and that only gets more obvious as the season goes on. Hawk arrives and catches Samantha and even calls her out for her bullshit. The decline in business is getting worse for Daniel because his suppliers are going to pull their business from him. So he goes to Japan to see if he can convince them to stick with him. He fails. Daniel decides to make a trip to Okinawa for some reason. In Okinawa, he sees there's a lot of changes. He meets Kamiko and she invites Chosen. Everything with Chosen is great. At first he's kind of a dick. I think he was just fucking with Daniel. but they do a little karate. It's also very clear that Chosen has always been a better fighter than Daniel-san. Chosen kicks Daniel's ass. Using a new method from Miyagi-Do which focuses on pressure points, Chosen could have killed Daniel. He did not and just honked his nose. He was highly amused. Adding another layer to the story, the little girl Daniel saved in The Karate Kid 2, Yuna has grown up to be the senior vice president of sales for Doyona National. Kamiko introduces her to Daniel, and Yuna decides to save LaRusso Auto. Back in the US, Johnny forces himself into Miguel's life and encourages him to walk again. Miguel leaves the hospital and eventually can move his foot. At this point, Cobra Kai has been relentless at causing mayhem against the Miyagi-Dos. They go to golf and stuff to fuck with Chris. Chris calls Samantha because Samantha could kick all their asses, I'm sure. Samantha, who always makes the wrong decision, brings all the Miyagi-Dos to the arcade. That's not very Miyagi-Do-like. The Miyagi-Dos get their asses kicked. Tori shows up and Samantha is terrified. Samantha may have won the battle at the school, but Tori is winning the war. Samantha is having severe PTSD and can't fight. They later connect this to The Karate Kid 3 when Daniel freezes with Mike Barnes. In both scenarios, the fighter eventually overcomes their fear, but Samantha essentially ran twice from Tori. They did fight at the end. That was really a draw, but at this point, I'd say the advantage is 2-1 Tori. One of the best moments of Season 3, Hawk versus Dimitri. I hated how Dimitri kicked the shit out of Hawk in Season 2. Hawk basically got his ass kicked by everyone in Season 2. I wanted to see redemption. Oh, we got redemption. Hawk never feared fucking with Dimitri. He told him earlier it was a lucky kick, and it was. In their second fight, Hawk quickly knocks Dimitri down and grabs a hold of his arm. Dimitri begs Hawk not to break it. This was such a powerful scene. Hawk hesitates because Dimitri is his best friend, but he goes and breaks Dimitri's arm. Dimitri yells out in pain and the emotion is real. In episode 6, Kreese is on a mission to find new recruits for Cobra Kai. He goes to the school and finds another girl. He recruits Brooks, the funny big kid from Season 1, and he recruits Kyler, the wrestling star. Before Kreese did this, Kreese started letting go of students that were weak. I'm not entirely against this, but I just don't think you should turn away students. 1, they pay you. 2, you can always get better students. You don't need to get rid of the weak ones like Bert. Kyler and Brooks are really excited to get started with Cobra Kai. I think Cobra Kai is perfect for them, and I was happy to see they were finally in the dojo. Kyler gets matched up with Assface. Assface gets a shot in, but Kyler uses his wrestling background to take this fight to the ground. Predictably, Kyler is a better athlete and a much better wrestler than Assface is at karate. So Kyler wins. In result, Kreese kicks Assface out of Cobra Kai. I understand Bert, but I have an issue with him kicking out Assface. Assface has been loyal to Cobra Kai. He was given a really hard matchup. The only thing that could really justify it for me is Kreese targeted Assface in the first place. He knew he was weak and this was his chance to get rid of him. Then the next fight, Brooks versus Hawk. Hawk is having some PTSD. He is really uncomfortable having his former bullies in Cobra Kai. Hawk volunteers to fight Brooks. Brooks and Kyler are ripping on Hawk, calling him Lip. And Hawk fucking destroys Brooks. He literally beats the fuck out of him. This is probably my favorite moment of the season. Alpha Hawk, best fighter in Cobra Kai, ending the life of Brooks. Then he stares down Kyler, and Kyler knows from that point he's Hawk's bitch. At this point, Hawk's story is really interesting. He has gone from the pathetic, weak nerd kid with the weird lip to a villain. Sadly, this is where Hawk peaks. Miguel is back up and walking, but he is not in a condition to do karate. Johnny goes to the school and makes a pitch at the Cobra Kai students. Johnny wants them to come back to him and continue as they were before Kreese. Johnny tells them to go to the park their new dojo. The only ones that show are Miguel and the Cobra Kai rejects. Hawk betrays Johnny and ends up showing up with Kreese and the other Cobra Kais. Kreese still has a soft spot for Johnny and doesn't want to go up against him. Kreese is a major asshole, but he wants to do this with Johnny. Meanwhile, Robbie is still having a hard time in jail. There's this bully that just wants to kick his ass for some reason. Kreese visits Robbie. Kreese's master plan is to recruit Robbie to Cobra Kai. It doesn't go well, but the seed is planted. In the next scene, Robbie gets in a fight with the bully kid and kicks his ass. They're both restrained on the ground, and Robbie, with blood on his face, gives him a very sadistic smile. Robbie is turning to the dark side, and I really like this shot. He's deciding just to not give a fuck anymore, and that is going to make him dangerous. Johnny and Daniel go to pick up Robbie from jail. Robbie tells them to both go fuck themselves. He wants nothing to do with them. This is classic Robbie being a little bitch. Daniel has done a lot for Robbie. Johnny has been a terrible father, but he's been trying lately. Robbie is just a drama queen. It gets worse. Robbie goes to the Miyagi-Do and he catches Samantha and Miguel together in the act. Samantha is such a piece of shit. I agree she's with the right guy. She wants the Miguel D over anything else. But she is responsible for causing all this drama and broken hearts. Robbie has had a tough life. And it's not right for her to have betrayed him like this. She did nothing to stay in contact with him while he was in jail. So that's the last straw for Robbie. In his mind, he has nowhere left to turn but to go to Kreese. The Cobra Kai students come in the dojo and see Robbie. Hawk is not happy. He doesn't like Robbie and refuses to embrace him. The Cobra Kais go to the zoo to steal a snake. Robbie quickly proves he could be the alpha at Cobra Kai by stealing the snake with his bare hands. I thought it was interesting to see the relationship between Hawk and Kyler. They appear to be friends, and Hawk is clearly the leader of the group. While this is going on, Johnny is having success with the ladies. He plays slip and slide with Carmen, finally. Then he goes on a lunch date with Allie. Allie is back. She's divorced. She also seems to be really into Johnny. She doesn't seem to care Johnny is a total loser. She's into him. I don't know where that's going to go. They even almost kiss each other. At the end of the episode, she meets up with Daniel. Daniel has a strong emotional reaction. I don't think they'll go this route, but Daniel's marriage could be in trouble. However, what I got from this episode is Johnny and Allie were a better couple. We get to the last episode of season 3. At this point, I realize, oh shit, they are not going to have the fucking All Valley tournament. I'm going to admit, this was a buzzkill. Samantha and Miguel get the Miyagi-Dos and Cobra Kai rejects to form an alliance at Daniel's house. Soon after, the Cobra Kai show up, and we get an epic house battle. It's basically School Fight Part 2, but it's in Daniel's house. Everything is getting destroyed. Kyler has learned a lot and took on Miguel. I love how he still calls him Rhea for diarrhea. It's not really clear if Miguel is rusty or his body just isn't fully functional, but Miguel gets his ass kicked. Kyler with his wrestling is a possible MMA star. In a street fight, he's deadly. In a tournament, it's all about the karate, but he's caught on quick. Miguel eventually summons up the strength to take out Kyler. The Miyagi-Dos are losing the fight because most of the Miyagi-Dos are fucking terrible. Dimitri finds himself in the same position he was a few episodes ago. His arm can be snapped again. Hawk sees this and decides he's done being the bully. He's done with Cobra Kai. Hawk attacks the Cobra Kai kids and saves Dimitri. I have very mixed opinions about this. This is something I thought might happen, but not until season 4. They built Hawk up to be this menacing villain. Now he's just one of the pussy Miyagi-Dos. That takes us to Sam and Tori. The fight is broken up and the house battle ends. A valid question is, why wasn't Robbie fighting with the Cobra Kais at the LaRusso house? He's a Cobra Kai. Honestly, I don't think Robbie had the balls to fight with them, or at least not yet. Maybe Hawk didn't tell him, but if Hawk is orchestrating this, why does he all of a sudden have remorse and betray his Cobra Kai friends? Or maybe Kreese orchestrated the whole thing, but why did he not have Robbie go? I think that would be a good test to see if he's Cobra Kai material. Then Johnny confronts Kreese at the Cobra Kai dojo. He sees that he's got Robbie's mind manipulated. Kreese gives Johnny another chance to come back to Cobra Kai. Johnny kicks Kreese's ass. Robbie stops Johnny from possibly killing Kreese. Then Robbie starts fighting Johnny. For a second, I thought Robbie was going to win. But Johnny kicks Robbie's ass and makes him look like an idiot. Robbie's been such a little bitch, he deserved to get his ass kicked. With Johnny's guard down, Kreese gets back up and looks like he's going to kill Johnny, but he is saved by Daniel. Talk about fan service. Daniel gets into a fight with John Kreese. They both fly through some glass. Kreese picks up a piece of broken glass and is going to stab the fuck out of Daniel. Daniel takes him out with the Miyagi-Do pressure points that he learned from Chosen. Daniel stops himself from killing Kreese. They decide to settle their quarrel at the tournament. Kreese makes a phone call to Terry Silver, who is going to return for season 4. I can only speculate that Mike Barnes will be returning too. The season ends with the Miyagi-Dos and Johnny Loyalist Cobra Kais training together at Miyagi-Do under two senseis, Daniel and Johnny. This again I expected, but I thought it was a season early. So overall, I love the season. I love this show, but I have questions for season 4, some concerns. What's going on with Hawk? He was being built up to be this Cobra Kai villain. Now he's just a regular in Miyagi-Do. Is he a threat to win the tournament or do anything great? Or is he going to take a back seat now? We'll see. What's going on with Cobra Kai? So we have Robbie. Robbie will be their top fighter. I think it's very possible he wins the next All Valley as a Cobra Kai student. But who else is in Cobra Kai? We got the nutjob Tori, but who is really threatening at Cobra Kai now that Hawk is gone? Miguel is gone. They built up Kyler to be menacing, but he took an L in the house fight. It's debatable whether he is on Miguel's level or took advantage of Miguel's recovery. Then you got your nobodies at Cobra Kai. No one really threatening. I was disappointed Brooks did not stay on the team. He got beat by the best student at Cobra Kai, and it wasn't fair. Brooks had zero karate training. Maybe he goes back to the dojo now that Hawk isn't there. Maybe he trains and wants revenge. That could be a good story. Are we going to get a curveball? Something unexpected? New fighters? A new threat? Currently they are in December. The All Valley should be happening very soon. Are we going to get the All Valley early in season 4 or at the end? I'm not sure what to expect next season, but I trust the writers of this show. Hopefully season 4 won't take another 2 years to be released. Join the project. Subscribe to the channel.